Hi, folks. It's Ryan from Warp Taste podcast. I'm here with Chris of Dancing with a Capulet.
Well,
Chris, why don't you inform folks what you exactly do for your project, Dancing with a Capulet?
Dancing with a Capulet is basically me figuring out how to do music that I used to do and used to like, and basically continue my taste and the stuff that I like to do on my own. Like whenever I spoke earlier. Like I was in prison from 2004 to 2019. That all my good nostalgic years like was warped and being in a band and stuff. And like when I got out, I didn't want to pursue anything other than like what I felt was my passion.
Hmm.
And I've always been that guy that kind of feels like, you know, every other job's a side job until I get famous type thing. And I mean, as a kid and stuff. So when I got out, I that was about the time like Beep was popping off and stuff, and I saw the Bad Channels video with Craig Owens and Family Pet, and my brother Marky, who actually helped me speak to you and help get all this thing going, or the interview going, or podcast going.
Yeah,
And like that song drug me in so hard because I was such a Chiodos fan.
yeah,
Man, like just to hear, like, to see what was capable to be able to do on your own, just to sing over beats and stuff. Like that's kind of what I explored with, and it felt so good, and it still feels good, and it seems to be taking off. So I mean, that's basically what it was. Me wanting to be in a band and still make like emo screamo music, but not having the 5 or 4 other lives that I can coordinate with at the time.
yeah,
It's you know for sure that it's hard to start over, even though you've probably done it a few times. But like the
yeah,
the getting on the schedule with 5 other people and have the same passion, have the same drive. It's sometimes in some towns it seems hard. This isn't
yeah.
the town I'm from too, so it was harder than that.
Oh yeah, because it's one thing meeting like other people that like have the same vision as you. It's another thing that people that will get it that you're like, well, I like elements of this, but it contains like nostalgic aspects of what the kind of music I grew up listening to.
Right?
And it's like people grow up so differently, and then you go to a new town with people who have totally different experiences than you, and it's just kind of like shit, like where
Yeah.
do I go from
It,
here? But the fact that you've been able to pull it off, and like you're doing something that's bringing your life into a different direction and allows you to channel like positive, and I would even
it's
say
such an
like,
out.
yeah, you're channeling through negative aspects that you've gone through as well, and you're doing it with music, something that you've always been passionate about, I'm sure. Like how would you say that you got into music like originally?
Like I get a lot of shit from people that I fuck with musically because like I almost like skipped the whole like 80s metal scene. Like my first cassette tape was a Warren G Regulators cassette tape, and then
Regulator.
mount up. I went straight into like a hip hop scene, which is kind of where I got the lyrical flow, and that carried into, you know, I met a I met a girl on a set of steps one time that kind of just she was a punk rock chick, and I it just I entertained like Blink-182 and Green Day and punk pop, like the idea of that for her, and it took over my life like completely. Like the only like I and not to say that I don't respect that scene, I know a lot of the genre and a lot of the music, most of the bands, like just from just being around people that I know and the knowledge and the stuff that I do have listened to. But when I went when I heard like Enema of the State and like all that high energy pop punk, like I dove into that. I
Yeah.
wanted I wanted to play guitar, and I bought a Blink-182 tabletry book. And the only person I knew in our school that could play it was a kid named Daniel Roll, and I took it to his house, and I was going to pay him to teach me to play guitar. And he was a big Metallica fan. Like he could play at 16, could play the Black Album like flawless and shit. And he started playing it, and I was singing it, and he was like, "I'm not going to teach you how to play guitar." He's like, "You're going to sing in my band." And I was against, like, I didn't want to do it. I was tone deaf, but I could not write, like, but he made me do it when we started out as like a Blink-182 cover band, and like that turned in, how that scene turned in from pop punk to emo to screamo to metal to like it all just snowballs downhill after that. Like I fell into
Yeah.
the drive through scene hardcore,
Yeah.
Victory Records, all that shit.
Yeah.
I was hard. Like I was very much at a young age. This is it. This is what I'm doing. Nothing's gonna stop me. And then I started that. So I played bass in my first band, and I got into an issue with somebody, and I broke my wrist. There's a little scar on my wrist right
Oh
there,
wow.
and it shattered my bone. So I free sang for a while, and that's when I started like, you know, getting into like Finch and like as I got into drive through like Finch, Starting Line, like all those bands like kind of merged together.
Yeah.
I
Because
love that shit. I love the drive.
you had things like back then like Warp Tour and Taste of Chaos, and like it kind of like these bands worked together, and like it was kind of like it
It was
was
my
a
life.
snowball effect because you found one band on a sampler and then you found this other band, and it's just like there's a lot of
It almost felt
cohesion.
like rivalries between them too. Like you couldn't
Mm-hmm.
like people like you can't like Taking Back Sunday and Brand New. I was like fuck you. Like my friend, like there's the whole like the mics were singing not swinging shit, and I was
Yeah,
like
that shit. That was a
like
great shirt.
oh man, it was dude. Oh man, I love that scene so much. Fort Tour
Mm-hmm.
was everything, man. I tried.
Did you ever go to a Warp Tour?
Oh man, every one up until the I was from at Deer Creek in Indiana. I went from the first, oh man, I can't remember the years when I had all the tickets, but it was like 15 years, I think, close straight, 12
Mm-hmm.
12 years straight, maybe. It was over 10, god damn it. Like there
I
was
had a
like,
decade's worth of Warp Tour in my soul.
man, like there was a so and like we I mean in when I was in my band in Indiana, we played with Motion City Soundtrack when I was younger, and it was so
Yeah.
cool. Like I've got the
Hell yeah.
flyers, like it was fucking awesome, man. And then we saw them there, and like they recognized us. We were in Indiana and shit. Like just little stuff like that that just kept me in and kept pulling. I was so much into that scene,
Yeah.
and also when I broke my wrist, they also prescribed me Dilaudid, and I turned into a not turned into an addict right away, but like I knew right away that opiates had a hold on me, and
Yeah.
like I've still never like smoked a cigarette in my life. Like I was still always so scared like to do
Yeah.
shit that mess with me. But man, those things had a hold on me for it. That's why I ended up in prison and all that. And once I got out, like I just like I said, I wanted to keep doing it. I don't want to stop.
Yeah. Because music in itself, and most people that don't play music probably won't get this, but being on stage, performing, releasing music, like all these aspects, they're a rush that you just can't replicate with anything else. A cigarette, a
At
drink, ain't nothing gonna compare to being on stage and seeing people sing your music back to you. It's
I
just
literally say that on stage. I was like, I every time I was like, just so you guys know, like this shit's for me. Like, thank you for coming. Like
yeah.
that's what I try to point that out. Like, I get up there and like it's if I can black out the crowd, like on a big show, like I'll be interactive in between, but during my songs, like if I don't see the crowd, like I know I'm doing good. Like
Yeah.
I get lost in it. Like you know how when Anthony Green's like he's all pulling at his shirt
Yeah.
out here, like man, I saw Anthony Green make the sun go away at Warped Tour.
Really.
Like me and my brother, like we were sitting there, and he was like, just so you guys know, he's like, while the sun gives us energy, it also takes it away. He was like, you guys hold each other up, give each other water. And then he looked up and he's like, did you guys go away for a little bit for one song? And the sun went behind a cloud for one song. It was there. It was like my brother's witness to it. Like he could probably tell you the year. I'm real bad at remembering like nowadays, but like it was so cool.
I think I remember seeing Circus Survive. I want to say like that had to be like 2007, 2008
Yeah,
on Warp
that
Tour.
that would have been the years right when I moved up here, because
Yeah,
I was supposed to have been class of 2005. I moved up here when I was 19, right afterwards. So like it would have been right there, 2000. Because when I say my brother, I mean my best friend, basically my brother,
yeah,
more brother than any brother could ever be. But like fucking when we first went there, like it was like the prime band, like we got there late one year. I remember like we were both at the tickets getting patted down and shit, and we hear my name's Craig Owens and we're Chiodos music, like, and they start playing fucking words best like that, like we just booked it, like we just followed his voice to him, and like that was us, man. Like the first 2 years I drove to Warped Tour with no license. Like I just told
I
my
had to
I
be there.
I had
Had to
a
be
permit.
there. Can't miss it.
Yeah. It was
That
it was
was
it
it
was
was
life,
summer
man.
Christmas. It was a summer Christmas like feeling where you
And when they used to have like the bikes and like the motorcycles and shit, like at
yeah.
the first that was cool.
Yeah, it was it definitely a fun experience. I went to a good lot of them, and I mean I liked Warped Tour, Taste of Chaos. I was a little more of a fan of just because it was indoors. There's air conditioning,
I went to
and
the first one. I went to the one with Under Oath and Kill Switch and the Used and
my chem.
my, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good one for me. I threw up in the mosh pit. I remember. I,
that's how I know it was a good show. I threw
yep.
up in the mosh pit. That's how you know.
I used to have a pair of Chucks that Burt McCracken threw up on from Warped Tour. I had them for so long. I don't know what happened to them.
Hell yeah, man! You got war stories. I mean, it's
Yeah,
better than mine. I mean, I got the air knocked out of me during an Aiden wall of death. So
the wall. I love. Yeah, as much as I love moshing, dude, like I never participated in the wall of death. Those things scare the fuck out of me. They look so
Braveheart, man.
scary.
You gotta have that Braveheart willing.
Man,
I
they have
mean,
to be too. I
yeah,
feel like if I had a horse, I'd be all right.
yeah. I mean, I've done one for. I want to say I did one for drugs. I did one for. I want to say. I feel like Under Oath did one. Anyway, all I know is I did one for a heavier band because Aiden is not that heavy. They're like kind of like post-hardcore pop punk
Right?
because it's very
Uh,
catchy. They
yeah.
throw a couple like breakdowns, like their
That
song called
Aiden's-
"I Set My
that first you said Aiden, right?
Aiden." Yeah,
That first CD was kind of heavy-ish. The one with fucking Last Sunrise.
uh, that was it has some heavy songs. I'm
Like,
not saying they don't have
yeah,
heavy
I know,
aspects,
I know, but like that.
but
I don't.
their
What
album before
that
that
CD?
was Our Gang's Dark Oath, which was kind of like their first release because
Oh,
Nightmare Anatomy was the first like major release on a record label like Victory. Our Gang's Dark Oath was like a self-release. Sorry, I know too much Wikipedia lore
no,
on bands. I
that's
grew up during this
that
time.
interests me too. That's like I didn't know they actually. I honestly didn't know Aiden had a CD before
Yeah,
the one.
I those the first three because like I enjoyed Our Gang's Dark Oath, uh, Nightmare Anatomy. They had the Rain in Hell EP, and then they had Conviction. Those albums I thought were super fire, super dope. They were a little different. Their first album, I Set My Friends on Fire, is like one of their only songs that goes to a two-step beat.
Right.
So that song, while not the heaviest song in the world, was heavy enough to almost like get all the air knocked out of me, and I had to like crawl
That's
out of the
cool.
mosh pit.
I've seen people mosh to some pretty not heavy shit.
Some docile music just invites like a violent soul, I imagine.
Right. It's almost like that's what I want to chase, but I don't even know if that's there anymore. I mean,
What mosh?
I'm no, just like the Warped Tour. Like I don't know. There's like there's like a deep part to me that like holds on to my youth. Like almost like there's like I don't know. Like when you used to run home at night when it was late and there was like a color to the world that was like a it was like a I
A
don't
little
know.
brighter,
Yeah, it seemed
a
actually
little more saturated.
yeah, like when you run home and it's late and the lights are on and mom's cooking and you just spend all day hanging out with everybody and like it's just like it felt safe, and like it's like a tasting safety. It's like I don't know. I haven't felt home in a long time, man. Like this music is a lot of times I write from a perspective of like what I think someone would feel or what I would feel or like I'm too objective for my own good sometimes and
Mm-hmm.
and that carries over into my life and like I don't know. I feel like part of what dancing with a Capulet brings is like to know that you don't have to give up.
Mm-hmm.
I could at one point have agreed with someone who might have said like I missed my time, but like right now, no, absolutely not. Like they like this is like this shit's rolling fast. There's like I said, like when I first got out, the first video I saw was Craig Owens and the Family Pet Doctor cover or Doctor
Yeah,
Doctor, and like I just released a song with Family Pet, like the Suicide by Life. I'm about to release another one with him and Lil Narnia, both on it. And
Nice.
those are two people that like I started, you know, they drove me into like this type of music.
Yeah.
And and I said like out the gate like I'm gonna get those, and I have, but I've been so like it's hard for me to talk about, but I'm losing my grandma, and my grandma is the only person who has ever shown me any type of unconditional love. Like I think like there's people who would argue that, but my grandma raised me pretty much like, and I feel like there's a lot of I don't know. There's a lot. Like, I don't have any experience with death. My circle's so small. Like, I got my mom, my two sisters, and my grandma. My grandma's the only one that I really speak to currently. Like, there's a lot of family drama going on, and like, that's not something I like. I said, I'm an open book. I talk way too much, but you know, like,
No, you're fine, man.
there's a sadness there that I can't comprehend right now, and like,
Yeah.
I've been so like, I'm not the person who ever like, you know, would say like be seriously attempt suicide or anything like that. Anything that like I love life. I'm attracted to the thought of like I think people fuck it up sometimes, but like I'm attracted to what life can be. Like I feel like sometimes I have more hope for what people have than what people have for themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if I said that right, but it's just I have a weird sense of like a hopeless romantic folk. Like my grandma says I have Robin Hood blood. Like I can't stand to see an injustice. Like if I see like some like I have to be the one to stand up and like no. And like and a lot of these songs that I've been releasing are from what like I see scenarios like my friends go through and stuff. Like and me not being able to speak up for them. Like there's a few of them that have called me out. You know, like is that about me? And it's like yeah. And then with my friend Pete, he made the song "Days Like Me" these with me. I'm stuttering a lot. I'm starting to get nervous because I'm talking too much. I apologize.
No, you're fine, man. Hey, like
And I'm trying to cover up that little
here's the
crack.
thing. Here's the thing. Chris, you're completely fine. You're talking about your art, your music, and that brings you a lot of, there's a lot of emotional resonance in your music because it's an open book to you, man. You're just letting people know that this is the real you. Like this isn't some character description of like, oh, I grew up liking emo music. Maybe I should just write songs that deal with something emo. But it's like, no, you were like, there's a heart to it, and I'm going to deliver that message. And to wear that openly and honestly on your sleeve, man, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like, I understand. I've lost my grandma as well, and it was hard for me because she was a woman that helped raise me. And the only like solace I could find in it all these years later, now that she's gone, is that I should continue living, instilling the kind of thought processes that she taught me to believe, because you know that only seems fair to like let really awesome people be remembered, even if it's in through our music or just through the way that we carry ourselves in our daily lives, or just a recipe, whatever it is. It's always good to keep those memories alive and then value them and appreciate them while we have them, because you know that's part of life, man. It's growing up, it's hard. And to be human, I don't think anybody needs to apologize for that.
I appreciate that, and you're right. Like that's something that like I do. I like my girlfriend's on me or my fiance's on me all the time. Like just stop apologizing because I apologize a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I I think I don't know. Like I'm grown. I know the throws. I know what life is. I know there's a lot I don't know. Like I'm finding that out a lot. But like like to know like we grow like to respect her life, what she's done, what she's taught me to carry that on. It's just I can't communicate that to her when I see her eyes and I see her like struggling to do things. Like I lose my voice. I turn into that kid that's like I can't breathe
Yeah,
when I
I
talk to her.
understand.
It hurts to not be able to communicate to her that how much she knows. But I feel like there are things that I should say to her, and I'm not able to. She's not past. Like she's still here, and I
Yeah.
find myself like avoiding conversation and stuff with her. But I've recently written a song that it's called I honestly don't even know what it's called right now. It's called Deathbed, but I don't know if I want to keep it like that
I
because
understand.
I'm not sure I would if she's around when it releases. I wouldn't want her to take the wrong idea because that's not the part that's important.
Yeah,
But
of course.
it's a very big release on how I feel about her. Like there's an awesome verse where I'm able to just kind of like I'm not religious or anything. I think I've kind of went through religion to understand that like there's just like everybody's everything.
Hmm.
Like it's almost like you have to be religious to understand that it's like a God, I don't want to start talking about that, but like a guidelines that some people need, a permission slip
Yeah,
to understand that that they can do that themselves. Like
it's
they can
always
be
good to know where people's morals stand. It's I feel like I'm not a religious man myself, but I would say I'm more spiritual and have a respect and and anybody that can inflict that kind of self-discipline upon themselves, it means they have something within to kind of like, keep them grounded in reality. And I don't think that's a bad thing, that to be religious or just respect it, you know.
right. I think there's a lot to I don't know. I think there's a lot like yeah, I don't. This is a music podcast, but I think there's a lot to oneself, man. I think we're capable of some crazy things, like
Of course.
with like the meditation and the kundalini breathing and like I dove into like as a person like where they say like when you breathe in like the and you get full top that you continue to kind of try to pull and it pulls cerebrum fluid up your spine. Like you can pump your stomach while you do it too, and it coats. And like I've done it, and it does something weird. It's like a fast. It's like an antenna type thing on like it feels like it's almost like a mechanic like a magnetic like a wow wow wow. And I did this thing. That sounds stupid, but like I
Hey
did this
man,
thing.
meditation.
Absolutely, dude, it helped me so much. It stopped me from the drugs, kind of.
Yeah.
I sound crazy when I talk about it sometimes, but I think it is. But like the guy said, like if you just stand up and you breathe 10 times in your nose as far as you can and out your like mouth as deep as you can, just like to do that. And I did it, and like there's an energy swell that comes with it that makes your hands sting. Like it's super weird,
Oh yeah.
and it just got me into different types of meditation and stuff and doing different things.
Yeah.
And it's
Focusing
really
focusing your mind on something and just like going through, like, I always tell people, like, if you're having an anxiety attack or anything, most people think like it's like, what do you mean just breathe? It's like, no, literally, like, if you just
there's
focus on that one aspect, just breathing, like, literally don't think about anything else, make the breathing your entire thought process. Go in for a count of 8, go out, breathe out for a count of 8. Anything that you can do to kind of just make it all, the whole thought process about the breathing can kind of just help you distract your mind from,
absolutely.
yeah. And it's always good to just take a breath sometimes and just breathe. And it's just like, sometimes people forget to just breathe sometimes, and it's difficult, but it's capable of
It
being done.
helps.
It helps without a doubt. Also, I wanted to say I have that same Chiodo shirt.
Really, my fiance just got it. She's so good at finding like shit that I like, shit that I didn't think like she could find.
Oh yeah,
She
that one I had to find on, like, it was like on sale on Merch Now, and they only had it in like extra large or something. But I scooped that up, and I was just like, get it.
me like the cheer up kids like the cheer up kids shirt from Craig's line. Like before I
Yeah.
even out, and like she had it here, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was awesome. Like she's a very sneaky gifter, but can't keep them long. So
It's good to have that strong support in your corner, man. That's good to have.
it really is, dude, to have like I said, I don't talk to my family much, but my house, my fiance and my 3 sons and my daughter eventually she'll come around, but our house is tight. We speak to each other. We like it's so good to know that I don't have to worry about them in any aspect. You
Of
know,
course.
it's good. It's good to have a solid household. It helps
Yeah.
me like they support me very much on this and other times, I've been in relationships where they don't. Like you don't always have a significant other that supports what you do or your dreams or
Yeah.
what you find. You seem to. I haven't dig too
Yeah.
deep. You guys seem to have something going on. Good
I
little
love my
teamwork.
girl. My girlfriend is awesome, man. She's a good girl, and I can't. I will thump any table in agreement that if you take care of your woman, she'll take
Absolutely,
care of you.
absolutely.
communicate, respect. It's just like you find those common grounds. You won't, as long as you got somebody in your corner, it makes a lot of the stuff in life a lot easier.
It really does, man.
But so with Dancing with a Capulet, I was gonna ask, is that I mean, obviously it's a Romeo and Juliet reference,
Right. He's
but
like,
yeah, that's the seduction. I was gonna be
yeah.
like, hey, is that
I,
a
I was so against like whenever we were in the cover band and shit. Like I was the one that wanted to. We ended up leaving the cover band because I wanted to write shit. Like I've always wanted to just do my own shit, and like I always felt real iffy about like, and because my brother wanted me to start a band called Imperial Faith. And I was like,
mhm.
no, dude, I was like, I can't do that. I was like, it's a circus song. And then when Imperial Faith came out and like got so big from it, I was like, you know what? I was like, I've had Dancing with the Capulet written down for a long time, and we were going to use Running Red Lights, but it was taken at the time, and it was kind of a gift in disguise. And
Yeah.
because I love it, so many people say Catapult and mix it up, but I'm cool because the people who get it like it a lot, like they get the reference and shit.
I mean,
It's
that's not a bad name. Like for mistaken band names, Dancing with a Catapult is
no,
pretty cool.
definitely not, definitely not. It is, and that's what the person who mistake it said too. It was on a I think it was on a site where I was paying them to play my songs on one of the live streams or something. When I first started, I did a bunch of dumb stuff. I paid for some streams and stuff out the gate, and it messed up my algorithm. I didn't know what was allowed, what wasn't, what was fishy. Like
Yeah.
I still kind of don't. I'm winging it, honestly. I'm just making good music and hoping it catches on. Music I
Yeah.
like.
That's it's mostly just connecting and networking with good people, and uh a good playlist it can help if it's the right source. Like there's websites like Ghost Kill Entertainment, Scene Daddy, Young and Inspiring. They all do like affordable, I guess,
Right?
playlisting, but
See, man. Even beat
anything
like
helps.
on this end, like I have like you deal with beat leases and stuff, and like
Mhm.
I've gotten very lucky. Like my producer is Chance Production. It's a guy I was in a band with from since I've known him. Like we've always been part of each other's lives in Indiana, and he does a really good job at my sound. Man, he makes all those beats with instruments, like everything. It sounds real full, and like I like what he's doing for me. Like he's a little madman mastermind.
Oh yeah, I'm all about it, man. So with the "He is Legend" reference in your name, in
Right,
your
my bad.
music, no, that's fine. In
I
your
told you
music,
I'm
do you?
fucking be all over the place in my head.
It's fine, man.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. Don't even trip because I circle back. But do you
I
find
love
like
it.
do you think like with having a band name as a reference, like a lyric to a band, uh, do you find the time to like maybe like reference other bands in your lyrics or?
You know, there's a few things that I have that are kind of cool. Like I really miss like the Legion of Doom, like how they would do like
Oh
the
yeah,
class stuff like that. And then like I said, I had a whole lot of inspiration from Pete when I got out too, because like I said, like he was the main one pushing like that scene, the emo. If you listen to a lot of his shit, like a lot of his songs are on like one of his songs are on a Postal Service beat, one of them's on a brand new song. There's a lot of like where he sampled a whole lot of beats like that, and I've got a song written that is completely constructed of his song titles, and it's super cool. I was gonna release it on like one of his on his birthday next year or something like that. It's not completely finished. It's got a lot of work on it, but super cool concept. And
I
like
like that. That's
I
a
would
smart idea.
I would like I don't know. Like I've never thought about like putting anyone's name like purposely into any of my lyrics or anything like that. This was a I've only had a few people notice it, you being one of them. Like honestly, like I don't think his legend got the fucking credit they deserved. Honestly, like they were a big part of like that album. I Am Hollywood is such a big part of my upbringing, dude. It was a
next
that was
next year is the 20-year anniversary.
of that.
Yeah, these crow's feet are growing on my face.
That's
I'm
what I'm
just getting
saying.
older.
Back to
They just
back
played
to
a.
back.
They just
I'm saying
played a.
don't have give up. Like you can keep doing this shit.
Keep doing. Yeah, because they just played a show last night, and they had like the Callous Boys there and everything, but they played the all three China Whites, and I thought that was really pretty freaking
That's
cool.
yeah.
They
I
play
would
them, yeah,
really
they
like.
play them back to back. That'd be so sick.
Oh yeah, that was they did that. They played
Yeah,
them back. That's cool.
and White one, two, and three, and it's just like
It seems like this is the year. This was the year for like bands, or this last couple years have been the year for bands to go back and like re-blast like their old albums and shit. Like I think Weezer did a Blue Album tour. I
yeah.
was going. I had tickets to see Anthony Green, like backstage passes at for his Blue Sky Noise. Uh,
Uh,
oh, what
the
was that?
ultimate cancellation.
Yeah, man, I was so upset.
I feel like that tour, unfortunately, I feel like that tour was like a catalyst that helped lead them to be like, I don't think Anthony wants to do Circus Survive anymore, because it was kind of like he had LS Dunes, he had his solo stuff, Seosin was doing stuff, and it was kind of like
I
Circus
felt.
Survive is doing
I was
a reunion or like a anniversary tour. It kind of I don't know, maybe it just didn't feel fresh and unique to Anthony. I don't know, it just seemed like a weird thing. I love Circus Survive. It's one of my favorite bands. It's unfortunate that it's gone down like that. Though I will say Ellis Dunes and Seosin doing stuff is still pretty cool in 2023.
yeah, I felt so far off of what like whenever I was young, like During Rome, High and Driving, and
Yeah.
the the newer circus, like the first two circus CDs and the first two Chiodo CDs, or maybe not the first, not, Juturna and On Letting Go and All's Well That Ends Well and Bone Palace Ballet are like the four like CDs that I would have like if I had to pick any music at all ever anywhere, like I would have those four CDs. Like if I could only pick five, I would have those four. Like those four, like that's like it's me.
Yeah.
That's I love them. Those are my favorite.
Those are all very quintessential, dude. Like those are if like 2005 to 2008, like those years, if you were listening to a high pitched singer with some breakdowns or some trippy guitar riffs, like it was either Circus Survivor or Chiodos, and it was just like it's a good time to be alive for music like that, you know.
It was like the AP that had their split cover, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. That was I remember.
I
Is
remember.
AP a thing? Like they're small now, right?
Yeah, they're alternative press. I believe it's owned by the Madden brothers now. The dudes from Good Charlotte own it now.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and I don't think AP is as big of a juggernaut that it was like in our
Yeah,
heyday. And
yeah.
I
It
think
doesn't seem.
all our whole scene kind of suffers from being in that like when we were growing up, they had 80s night. Now we have emo night, and it's kind of like, it's disco night. It's kind of like we're the nostalgia era of this new
Yeah,
time.
circling back.
And yeah, we got to remember the glory days.
Yep. It's almost like it does. Like it just everything circles back. Like
Mm-hmm.
it goes so far and then it just circles back.
Yep. I mean, I mean, it's like with the anniversary tours, 20 years, and then you got bands that were big in our parents' day doing like 50-year anniversary, 40-year, and it's
Right.
just like,
Right.
or just keep aging. Time never stops.
It doesn't. It almost goes faster once you notice it.
Yeah. It's like you
It's
were saying about being a young kid, about like the visions were brighter, things were more saturated. Time moved slower. It was,
yeah, absolutely. Well, do you remember like that's my band's name up until this was always like it's I was in a heavier band called Last Call for Summer, and like that's always been like my my gig. Dude. Like it's like summer is like a state of mind to me. Like you long for it all year, and then it's like it lasts forever.
yeah,
And I grew up in Bedford, Indiana, and like that's the limestone capital of the world, and there's like a shit ton of quarries dug out, and they're all like there's so many places to swim, and like the streets are good to skate. Like, I grew up in a good place with good music
yeah.
and good friends, dude, and I'm thankful for that.
Hell yeah, man.
And
So like,
it's the chase for that. Like that's almost it's almost like I don't know. It's just sad it don't exist anymore. That's why the embrace for change, man. Because I just run with whatever I can do.
I feel
Keep
it, man. And it's like with this music that you do and like with your influences in mind, like if you could book like a fantasy tour or like a fantasy show, like to play with anyone that you like grew up watching, like who would you be? Who would be your Mount Rushmore? Who would be your Bill?
Man, my eyes are still on Craig. Like I know I'm talking about him a whole lot, but like there was a point where he had the Patreon where he was doing like features for $1,000 and like it didn't seem unreachable. And now he's just like it's like he's back on his pedestal and like he's a million miles away. But like I can't let go. Like I can't let go of the fact that like I started the mission kind of in my head. Like I would like if you could do like a fantasy tour. I'm saying like a whole fucking lot. I gotta calm down. Breath. Okay. Fantasy tour. Back to fantasy tour. I would like to. It's just my. I try to comprehend like what my music would go with like when I do that because when I set up shows, as the musician in me wants it to flow smooth and organ like
Yeah,
have
you can
organization.
always apply Limp Bizkit rules where the tour just doesn't make sense, but it's got great bands on it, so people are gonna show up.
Bet. Okay, so I'm gonna roll with the family values option, and I would say I would like to see of my or not of my I throw the of Mice and Men singer around and from Attack Attack to of Mice and Men, and then I get it mixed up with another one too. Attack Attack, like that first album. I would like to see that first album played with I Set My Friends on Fire's first album. I've seen them live too, and like I crawled under. I have a guitar pick close. I don't want to go take me for find that. I crawled through sweaty legs to get through. I saw where it landed, and I dove and got it. And okay, so I Set My Friends on Fire and Attack Attack. In Fear and Faith.
Nice.
Oh man, Asking Alexandria's first album. I'm just making all kinds. I'm just naming bands I like.
That's fine. That's the whole point. That's the
Okay,
whole point. We're just finding out about you, man. That's great.
I'm just gonna name a bunch of bands I like.
I mean, ideally, if you were going to go on tour with bands, you would want it to be with bands you like, right? You wouldn't want to go with bands you hate. Like, I'm gonna go
But
tour
I
with.
feel I feel so torn between these two genres though, because there's like there's my side that was like in the band, and then there's the side of me that is fucking like obsessed with like the Family Pet, Lil Narnia, Lil Lotus, Garden, Nothing Nowhere, like the emo hip hop scene's dope. Like if you like,
Yeah,
it's a bunch of kids that fucking don't have bands.
yeah. They
But
grew up
it's
listening to the same shit, and they're just as big a fan of it as you are.
like to be like I've been incorporating my screams and shit into it, and I really like that scene. On that
Yeah,
side, I would pick Garden, Lil Narnia, Family Pet, myself, and Nothing Nowhere. 5 bands.
that's the Fave Five, the Booker
Day
T
five
Five, right there.
on the emo rap shit. Over here on the band side, I would have to go me. In Fear and Faith, Dance Gavin Dance with Johnny Craig. As much as I know everybody hates me. Dance Gavin Dance with Johnny Craig. Um, Chiodos and and the day to remember.
There you go. That's a solid. That's a solid lineup, man. I can't knock anybody for liking
I like this.
Johnny Craig, Dance Give a Dance.
I get so much anxiety
Yeah, that's like one of my polls,
when
man.
people
That's
tell
how
me
like
to movies or music. Like I can't do it.
yeah, it's fine, man. It's like if someone were to make a Spotify playlist of those bands and threw you in there as well, I think it would be a pretty good playlist. I think people would be begging
Absolutely,
on that.
absolutely. So what about you? What if, like you got shit going on too? Your band. I'm gonna space it out. I know what it is. I have it written down in my notebook. You have to say it though.
The angel like expression. Don't worry about it. I
I'm
mean,
sorry. Expression.
dude, some people just know me as Ryan Porter. They don't even know that Ryan Rex is a thing. Don't even trip. Don't even worry
I
about it. It's
can't,
all good.
But
Angel
for
Like Expression is
there's
a
only a
cool
few
band.
clips. Like you only got a few clips on like TikTok and stuff. Like, but they're dope as fuck. Is there full links or am I not? Because I'm not good at finding shit.
If you were to go on, I only have two songs out with the Angel Like Expression. I have Caramel Sunshine and Midnight Beauty. They have a bunch of music that they've released with. It's kind of just like a variety of singers. We have a couple more songs coming out with Joey Holiday. I used to be in this band called Stay Still. That stuff's not on streaming anymore. But yeah, I got more stuff coming out. We got some songs with Grapevine Gossip, Mara Bloom, and we got some more stuff with Joey Holiday, and it's just money. It's just time and money, and
Yeah,
being able to properly record with like studio quality equipment. We don't want to. You also just don't want to release something if you don't have the advertising budget for it. You know, it's like if you want something to hit and hit really good,
I
like it
fucked up.
should. Unfortunately, it's a saturated scene, and as awesome and great as every band is, it's you got to find that wiggle room where people can find you, and
I forgot how
doing
difficult.
that takes time. Hmm?
Well, I forgot how difficult recording is too with full band. Like that's the one of the beautiful things about this shit. Like I can literally just this little focused right thing right here in my laptop, and I can do anything I need to do. Exactly. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect for anything that I need to do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it works.
I mean, I send
I
my
wish
shit off
I wish
to
my laptop wasn't from 2013. I wish my microphone that worked with my Focusrite was my good microphone that's like a lot more expensive than the mic that came with my my it sounds like a cheap microphone. So I'm kind of like working through the quality of my equipment as I work on stuff. But I have friends who are producers and stuff that I just need to find the time to sit down and record with, because it's just like I have a stack of stuff to record, and it's just like it keeps piling up and it's not getting done.
understand that. I understand that. I have an issue with jumping around. Like I'll do one song and I'll be doing 5 songs all at once, and it's just one will get done eventually, and then one will get done eventually, and then another one works its way in. Like it never stops.
Oh
But it's like it's working though. Like I have a real bad issue with leaking shit before I advertise for it or promote it or anything like that. And I don't know why that is. Like I just can't wait to put something out or let someone hear it. Or I don't know if it's good or bad. But like within the last year from that Family Pet release, I think like my Spotify Wrapped was like amazing compared to the years before. And there's a
more
lot of
focused.
yeah, absolutely. And the songs are getting better. Like I'm finding my niche. Like if you look at the first 3 I released, and then like from that point, as soon as I came over and let Chris start from Chance Production start mastering my shit, like it like the song started leveling up, and everyone's like just I'm so excited to release them.
Hell yeah,
The ones
that's what's
with
up.
the one with Family Pet and the one with Little Narnia is coming out at the first of the year. I've got
Nice.
another one dude named Blackheart, and another one with a dude named Trevor Wood, and then another one with Little Narnia coming out directly after that. So like
Yeah.
as long as I can keep the momentum rolling, like it's all there for me, like all
Yeah.
the work, all the stuff's there. It's just to to stay focused and keep the energy up, not fumble,
You right. You right.
not pick up
And
the game when I need to pick up the keyboard.
yeah. And if people wanted to find you on social media, like where would they be able to find you? Like you got
Anywhere that you can type Dancing with the Capulet into a search bar, you can find my name. I'm on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Facebook, anywhere. And I'm working on getting my website up. It'll be dancingwiththecapulet.com to have links and direct links and merch, you know,
yeah.
previews, stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not as tech savvy as I'd like to be, but I'm learning a little bit.
And it's always good, man. And you always surround yourself with smart people that have your best interests in mind. So
Absolutely.
hell yeah, dude. So
That seems to be the formula. Surround yourself with people who have your best interest in mind and show up for yourself. I got some really
exactly.
cool audio from the time I saw Craig last a couple months ago, and I got to ask him a question, and my sister was recording the audio, and I had that, and I asked him what he thought, the best uh, the best thing a piece of advice you could give someone. He was just like, show up for yourself. He was like, show up for yourself every single day.
Yeah,
And that's what I've been doing ever since, man. And is as he's right, show up for
yeah.
yourself, believe in yourself. It doesn't matter. Don't have an outcome in mind. Like I've been just making music I like and releasing the shit out of it.
Hell yeah, man. I feel like there's a lot of good nuggets of wisdom to be found from Craig Owens. I've been a fan a long time. Always been a positive dude towards me, and I got nothing but good things to say about the guy. I can't. And as an artist, he's just released some phenomenal stuff. I'm a big fan of
Oh
Bad X channels, and I think it's
man,
just bad channels. But most people don't understand you
I
when you say bad channels. But I
I
I
got
I, I say it too. I'm like, it sounds cool. Bad X channels. Why wouldn't I just say Bad X? And it's just like, no, I think that that's a great thing that you've done. You've been able to turn like an influence into something to focus you and keep you on the right path to doing something that you enjoy and allows you to share your emotions and your heart with, the people that can find that kind of stuff and like a common ground like emo and Warp Tour scene kind of stuff let us have, because it was a mix mash. It was a blend of a lot of different stuff that kind of just like clicked and made sense and brought people like us together, and it still does all these years later. And I think that's
it's like a wavelength, because like
mhm.
if you play fucking like Boy Brush Red by Under Oath in a room with me, you, and then another person that was our age and is a good guy, but wasn't there for the scene, or was doing into something else. Like we're gonna feel that connection like right away. Both know the song, like both know the scene, both like, and that speaks volumes. Like that, like music. There's a connection. Like it gives people that connection and
Yeah,
that motivation and that outlet and that you know drive everything. It's the
yeah.
only thing that's ever been there consistent. You
A
know,
sense of a good strong sense of community, even if with strangers you've never met, but their heart all beats in unison to the beat of a great song. I think that's just beautiful. And I think more people should just be a little more open about their music taste. You never know, you can make a brand new friend today.
absolutely.
Hell yeah. But I think that about wraps it up here for us today on the Warp Taste podcast. We've had Chris here today with Dancing of a Capulet. Thank you so much, Chris, for being here. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we close this up?
Not much, man. Just thankful for your time, and I appreciate the energy.
Of course, man, and thank you. This was great, dude. It was a good energy, and it's always good to see the positive effect music can have on somebody. And I'm grateful that someone like you is perpetuating that idea.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, man, very much.
Hell yeah. Well, this is Ryan Rex. This is Chris of Dancing with a Capulet. Thank you for joining us. You guys have a great day. Take care.